Get off
The final episode of the horror series unfolded the grim fate of Kuruzu Village and its ill-fated heroes, Kiri and Shuichi. As whispers of the village's dark secrets spread, more souls ventured into its cursed embrace, only to find themselves ensnared by the relentless spiral curse. Despite Kiri and Shuichi's desperate attempts to aid the newcomers, their efforts were futile, sealing their doom. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. Today we are going to explore how the Uzumaki anime series ends and what happened at the end of the final episode. With relentless storms battering the village, Kiri and her companions fought against the encroaching darkness, but their escape was thwarted at every turn. Kiri's brother fell victim to the curse, and other trapped souls conspired to keep them from fleeing. In a chilling twist of fate, Eric's Kiri and Shuichi found themselves at the heart of the curse, where the spiral ruins awaited them, a haunting reminder of the place where their lives were extinguished.
It was delicious.
Dragonfly Gang. The fourth episode of Uzumaki began with a team of reporters from Toyo TV arriving at the ominous island that housed Kuruzu Village. As they made their way in a vehicle, a violent hurricane struck, obliterating their car. Only Chie emerged from the wreckage, gasping in shock as she noticed her breath forming clouds in the air, despite the absence of cold. Rescued by Kiri and her brother Mitsuo, Chie was led away from the chaos. They soon encountered a group of children, known as the Butterfly Gang, who were creating whirlwinds to torment the villagers. Kiri warned Chie to steer clear of them, sensing the danger that lurked beneath their playful facade. As they guided Chie to safety, they revealed the Dragonfly Pond, a chilling creation born from the convergence of the storms ravaging the village. This pond was a harbinger of chaos, where even the slightest disturbance could summon a monstrous whirlwind. Upon reaching a shelter, they found the entrance barred. The space was already overcrowded, leaving Chie out in the cold. Kiri's family and Shuichi decided to leave the cramped shelter, searching for a new refuge. Their journey led them to a horrifying scene. Adults were grilling the snail people, grotesque remnants of humanity, reminiscent of the fate that befell Takayama. Kiri recoiled in horror, recognizing the tragedy of what had once been human lives. The adults, noticing Kiri and her companions, beckoned them to join the feast. As expected, they refused, but the adults, identifying themselves as the Dragonfly Gang, grew insistent. Kiri, fueled by disgust and defiance, pushed them away. In a twist of fate, the Dragonfly Gang met their end, consumed by the very Dragonfly Pond they had sought to control when they attempted to confront Kiri's group.
It opened!
What happened to shelter people? The journey of Kiri and her group took a dark turn when they encountered a group of villagers, their faces etched with fear and concern for their fate. After a tense exchange, it became clear that the villagers were suffering from a horrifying transformation. Their backs were twisting into grotesque spirals. Panic gripped the hearts of the villagers as they fled towards the shelter, desperate to escape the clutches of the spiral curse. But upon arrival, the shelter's inhabitants barred their way, suspicion and dread clouding their judgment. A chaotic brawl erupted, fueled by desperation and fear. In the midst of the struggle, a section of the shelter crumbled, creating a narrow opening for the villagers to slip inside. What awaited them was a nightmare beyond imagination. Every person within had succumbed to the spiral curse, their bodies grotesquely intertwined, a macabre testament to the horror that had befallen them all. As Mitsuo transformed into Spiral Monster. In the chilling fourth episode of Uzumaki, the villagers and Kiri's group fled the shelter, desperately searching for a new refuge. But as they journeyed, a grotesque spiral began to twist across Mitsuo's back. Kiri, now resolute, insisted they abandon the village to break Mitsuo's dreadful curse. They pressed on, seeking an escape to another village. Their path led them to the same villagers, but their plight had worsened. One unfortunate soul succumbed to the spiral curse, and the others descended into madness, devouring him as if all remnants of humanity had been stripped away. Kiri's group had no choice but to leave, for Mitsuo was also ensnared by the spiral, his life hanging by a thread. As they ventured into the woods, they were confronted once more by the villagers. ravenous for Mitsuo, who was on the brink of becoming a snail. In a desperate act, Shuichi lifted Mitsuo, but midway, his body grotesquely morphed into a snail. They finally reached the island's bay, where Kiri had to confront the transformed Mitsuo, urging him to abandon them if he wished to survive.
The spirals cursed them.
Let's go back to town for now.
What happened to Kiri and Shuichi? In the chilling 4th episode of Uzumaki, Kiri, Chie, and Shuichi returned to their village, leaving Mitsuo behind in the shadows. What awaited them was a nightmare. The village had succumbed to the spiral curse, every structure twisted into a grotesque spiral. Kiri, undeterred by the horror surrounding her, was determined to find her parents, and her friends stood by her side in this grim quest. As they ventured deeper into the cursed Kuruzu village, they encountered a familiar face who spoke of a potter at the village's heart. Hope flickered in Kiri's chest. Could this be her father? They raced toward the center, the very source of the spiraling madness. But tragedy struck. Chie was snatched away by the spiral beings, swallowed whole by the curse. Undaunted, Kiri and Shuichi pressed on, reaching the heart of the spiral. They began their descent into the abyss, but fate was cruel, and they tumbled down into darkness. When Kiri regained consciousness, she found herself surrounded by colossal ruins, spiraling ominously into the sky. There lay Shuichi, beckoning her with a desperate urgency. Shuichi theorized that the architects of these ruins had imbued them with a sinister consciousness, and every 100 years, they devoured a village before sinking into a slumber. He urged Kiri to flee, whispering of the faintest chance of survival. Yet love held her captive. She could not abandon him. Together, they faced the inevitable as the spiral ruins sealed them in, obliterating Kuruzu village and drifting into a deep, haunting sleep for another century.
Just like that, the spiral curse that plagued our town.
Ending explained what happened to the spiral curse. In the chilling aftermath of the credits, Uzumaki Episode 4 unveiled a town that had risen from the ashes of the long-lost Kuruzu village. A train screeched to a halt, and a girl named Eri stepped onto the platform, her heart heavy with unspoken dread. Her boyfriend, Satoshi, awaited her arrival, a shadow of unease lurking in his eyes. As they wandered through the eerily quiet streets of this reborn town, Eri turned to him, her voice barely above a whisper. "Are you ready to leave this place?" she asked, echoing the haunting words of Shuichi to Kiri, as the spiral curse loomed ever closer, threatening to ensnare them once more. So this was for today's, folks. See you in our next video. Till then, bye-bye and take care.
Now what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.